Then my second immediate reaction was, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna get this job. I'm 18, I have no experience, it's pretty much luxury sales, and I don't know what I'm doing. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody is doing well today. If you're new and you like this kind of content, give it a like and subscribe. And if you're not, thank you so much for checking back in with me again this week. So, before I start, I just want to mention really quickly how appreciative I am of all the awesome responses I've been getting from my coach videos. I'm glad I can answer any questions that you guys may have, any comments, any requests, and I just wanted to say that I will continue making these videos as long as you guys like watching them. I've created a little playlist, so for anyone who's new here, you can check all those out. I really do try to give you guys as much information as possible and discuss stuff that you guys want to hear. I've also been receiving quite a few requests recently, which I'm so excited about. I promise you all I will get to them, but just please be patient with me because I'm only going to be able to film once a week, so it might take a little while to get out all the video requests, but I promise you I'm getting there, okay? So today is also a requested video by one of my subscribers, so thank you so much. We're going to be discussing how to get a job in luxury retail, what my experience was like working at Coach, if I had any previous experience, what I learned, and how you can get started as well. So just a little background information. I used to work at Coach. I was at the company for over a year and I really, really loved the job, but I had to unfortunately quit because I am a university student and I was supposed to go on exchange. So I gave in my resignation and everything was fine until I realized COVID-19 happened and I didn't even get to go on my exchange, which was very unfortunate. But anyways, that being said, I really did love the experience and I do encourage anyone who's interested in this to, apply for that job that you might not think you'll get, but just to do it anyways, because this is my story, okay? I was 18 when I applied for this job, okay? I live in Montreal, Canada, by the way, and I live in the West Island, and we have like this one huge mall that like everybody goes to. It was like the mall, and they had a Coach store, and one day I felt like it was just time to get a serious job. Listen, I've been working since I was 13, but it was all like kind of little jobs here and there. I used to teach karate, MMA to a bunch of little kids, which I loved, but not really that serious. I worked at my school store, okay, fine. I worked at Subways, okay, fine. Little stuff like that, and I just decided, listen, I'm 18 and I'm gonna go get that bag. I wanna wear something serious. I noticed on the job bulletin that my mall was posting that they had an opening at Coach, and I just remember thinking, how amazing would it be if I got that job? That's what I want, and it's fashion, and I love it. My mom loves Coach. I, at the time, had no experience with Coach. I did, however, love Kate Spade, which I knew was under the same company. So I thought, you know what, why not? And then my second immediate reaction was, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna get this job. I'm 18, I have no experience, it's pretty much luxury sales, and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a kid, I don't know what's happening. So I kind of took this job application with a grain of salt because I felt like I was going to give it my all and I was going to apply, but it didn't necessarily mean that I was going to get the job. That being said, I'm going to tell you how I got the job, and I'm going to give you every bit of advice that I can think of. Number one, something I learned actually at an even younger age was to always know how to differentiate yourself. Doesn't matter who you're working for, okay? It doesn't matter what industry. Nobody wants a copycat mold of every single employee. I'm serious. They don't just want a copy-paste model. They're looking for you to be you, and they're looking for you to be unique and to have your own assets and your own brain. Think differently, okay? So differentiate yourself. And that's what I decided I was going to do. But you know what I did? Right away, when I found out I was getting an interview, I was ecstatic. I didn't even think I was going to get an interview. I decided I was going to learn everything I could about this brand. And I'm talking about the history. And not just the history of the brand, but the history of the designs. The creative directors, we're talking about Stuart Beavers and Bonnie Canton and everybody in between. We're talking about the founder. We're talking about where it founded, the different types of leather, the different types of colors, the different types of bags, and which one was my favorite, because I just had this feeling that maybe she was going to ask me for my favorite style, and I knew I had to give her a proper answer. And so that's what I did. I went through the entire website, went through articles, okay, about the season that we were in. So this was 2018. So I studied fall 2017, winter 2018, and summer 2018 because I wanted to learn everything I could about the story behind the designs, okay? Why Stuart was designing it that way, why he was using certain color palettes, why he was using certain fabrics, what was the story that he was trying to tell, what was Paris Fashion Week like, what was New York Fashion Week like, what was the runway, who were the models, what are our spokespeople, who are we catering to? Yes, I actually learned everything I could about the brand. I studied Vogue magazines, I studied Vanity Fair, I studied Bazaar, I studied Elle magazine. It doesn't matter, any article that I could find about Coach and the current season that they were marketing, I studied it. So it's like an exam, okay, and I was ready. So when my interview popped up, it was Thursday, and I remember this very clearly. I was actually wearing this top with a blazer. I showed up and met with the manager. She was super nice. We went over to the food court. Obviously, I was nervous because, listen, I've never had sales experience, so why would they hire me, right? And so she started talking to me about why I wanted the job, and we just kind of went into it. And it was actually a very mundane interview. It was just like every other interview. Until she got to the point where she asked me, what do you know about our brand? And I was like, listen, this is my time to shine. And I just like spit fire. Like I just told her everything I had learned. And I could tell she was like, why do you know so much? And I was happy with her reaction, and then I ended up saying, you know, like, listen, I know I don't have any sales experience, because she had made that abundantly clear to me that, like, listen, you don't have sales experience. And I said, I know. And I told her again, but I'm willing to learn, and I'm excited, and I'm here to prove that I'm willing to work for it. She said, thank you. I said, thank you. Thank you for your time. Always thank your interviewer for her time, right? Or their time, right? Because they're very busy, especially in retail stores. They only have like 1 hour for a break, and they're interviewing you during your break time, so that's kind of not fun. So about, I don't know, a week later, a couple days later, I heard back from her. She was like, hey, I want you in for a second interview. And I was like, no, what? Really? So I went in, and turns out it wasn't much of an interview. She actually just wanted to tell me in person that I had got the job. And I was really thrilled. She reiterated again that I do not have sales experience, but that she really liked my energy, my excitement, and that there was something about me that intrigued her. She probably didn't even know what it was, okay? But, like, I think it was my excitement and it was my energy, and I just want to tell you guys to be excited and to be genuine about it. And if you're really not excited for the job, why are you even at the interview? It shouldn't be something that you have to fake. It should be there, and it should be real. That's my first advice, is to be able to differentiate yourselves, and 2 is to actually be genuine and excited. And if you're not, it's not even the right job for you. What's the point? My third piece of advice is, it's going to sound crazy, but milk every asset that you have, like every asset. If you, by chance, speak a third language, or even a fourth, I'm trilingual, I speak English, French, and I speak Mandarin. It's a huge asset. Write it on your CV in bold, I don't care, but be honest. If you're not fluent, don't say you are. I happen to be fluent, but I cannot read or write very well, and I told her. I tell her during the interview that you are Mandarin, and if it happens to be that, like, listen, luxury sales in the entire world, 1/3 of it is from China. Also a stat that I had learned during my study session. And I told her, listen, I know you guys have a huge Chinese market base, and I'm here to tell you that I speak Mandarin. She got so excited because her store was badly in need of a Mandarin speaker. And here I was, ta-da! Okay, so you're trying to fill a need. Be honest and just say, listen, I speak Italian, I speak Greek, I speak any language, okay? Any language. I promise you, it's an asset, and don't be afraid to milk it. So those are my tips and tricks on how I personally got this job. Don't be scared to be excited, to be eccentric, to be different. They're looking for somebody different. They're not looking for the same person over and over and over and over again. And it doesn't matter what industry you're looking into, okay? So next I want to talk about I'm gonna try to make this video really as short as possible, but it was a question that had a very anecdotal answer, so yeah. My experience about Coach and working there. Number one thing I want to say is it's not as glamorous as it might look. That being said, I had fun, but it's definitely not like sparkling champagne and fairies and sparkles. You have to work a lot, actually. The first thing being that it's not just like a random sales job where you say hi and bye and there's the transaction, take your bag, that's it. No, we're talking about actual relationships with your clients. Much beyond like, hey, how's the weather? Oh my god, I love your shirt. No, I'm talking about like, hey, how is that trip you took with the kids to New York? I know you brought your new bag with you. Hey, I know it was just your husband's birthday. Did he like the gift we picked out for him? Oh my gosh, I know your son just graduated. Remember the monogramming service I was telling you? We can totally get his name on it. I'm serious. Everything I just said right now, I've said to a client. And they were thrilled that I remembered, okay? It's genuinely one of those things where I cared about what I was saying. It wasn't one of those things where I had to force myself. I genuinely remembered serving each and every one of those clients and knowing what that purchase was going for, whether it be a weekend trip and her wanting to look good at New York with her husband and kids on Easter, and I still remember this, or her husband's birthday and we had picked out a wallet, or it was her graduation and they wanted to get their name monogrammed. I'm serious. So you have to be in it or you're not at all. Speaking of which, I did actually work a bit outside of my normal hours as well. So here's why. Like I said, had a majority of Mandarin clients, so I'm talking like 70%, who all added me on WeChat. It's just an app in China. You guys might have heard of it. They would actually reach out me at like all hours of the day, and I'm talking like morning, evening, and like 2 in the morning kind of thing. And they would actually say, hey, can you put that chalk rogue on hold for me? Hey, I really like that little black clutch. Put it on hold for me, please. Hey, I'll take 3 of those. But it might have been when I wasn't working. So I had to like write down like, hey, I'll be right on it. I would actually have to call the store the next day if I wasn't working and tell my manager or whoever was working like, hey, I need you to put this item on hold for me. Hey, can you check if we have this? So I was working beyond just my normal hours, okay? So it's like, are you ready for that? A commitment. And on top of that, I actually interviewed with Louis Vuitton at one point after I had left Coach. But it was just, I'm not going to get into it, but they, during that interview, had actually told me that they give their sales associates a whole separate phone just so they can keep in contact with their clients 24/7. I mean, Louis Vuitton goes hard, right? It's a brand that's much, I would, on the scale of luxury, is definitely above Coach. But that being said, maybe Yves Saint Laurent does that as well. We never know. Maybe Gucci, Prada, they all do that. But Coach at least didn't, which is fine. But I'm just trying to let you guys know that it is work. It's not just like you go and you're like, hey, this bag is so nice. Here's a sale of like $600. Thank you for shopping with us. I mean, it happens, but it's very rare. Normally, you gotta work for your sale, and you have to be genuine about it, because if you're not, they'll see right through you, okay? And that being said, we didn't get commission. However, we did have what's called a kind of, a kicker, I think I remember. Basically, just like a little monthly bonus for the top sales associate. I don't remember the exact details. There were specific details about it, but basically, long story short, there was a bit of competition amongst us, and it's probably because I'm just a very competitive person. I want to be the best all the time, and I wanted to be kind of like prove to my managers that I was doing a good job, and that's where a lot of my motivation came from. So I, was kind of a bit of a shark, is actually the term that they had used, which isn't something that you have to be, but it definitely pays off. So I ended up being the #1 sales associate for, I think, 8 months that I was there. And I'm still, to this day, really proud of that. Because there are quite a few metrics that you have to meet, like UPT, which is units per transaction, ADT, which is average dollar per transaction, and stuff like that. And it's not just sales. So there was a whole lot of stuff that I knew that kind of really made me proud. Definitely, I had stuff to work on, though. Like, my UPT wasn't always very high. I had to work on that, and my managers worked on it with me. So thank you guys, if anyone's watching this. I don't want to go too much into this anecdotal detail because, you know, I know not a lot of you guys enjoy this kind of like storytelling video. But just another kind of thing to realize is just, like, are you ready for this kind of commitment? Because it's not a job that you just leave at 5 o'clock and go home. You might have clients who want to reach you, and you have to also just genuinely care. Because if you don't care, you're not going to remember that they told you this and told you that. And it's not mandatory, but it's ideal that you remember these things about your clients, because then you really build that relationship with them. Okay? 2, you have to be comfortable just simply talking to people, right? You have to know that about yourself, if you're open and extrovert, if you're ready to basically be up for the job, because you have to go up to people and talk to them. You have to make calls, and this is a job that requires a lot of calls, right? You have to know that about yourself. And just 3, you like fashion and sales, and if you don't, I don't even know why you're watching this video, but just know if you're ready to really kind of like put your best foot forward. On that note, I think that's pretty much it. I hope I answered your question about, you know, how I got the job, what I can say about it, my experience. Yeah, so thank you so much for listening. I'm sorry this was an anecdotal type of video.